All right.
What up, party people? Welcome, quality people. Welcome, conscious people. Welcome to family. Okay, we're family here. I'm Mirakle, Monique.
And I'm Alan J.
And this is the Conscious Outlet Podcast. Make sure you like the algorithm. I always forget that. Make sure
And
you guys
also
like for the
subscribe.
algorithm. Yes, hit that subscribe button so we can keep bringing you more content like this. And share the video, okay? Because we're in a health epidemic right now, and everyone needs to know this. We need to talk about this, right? So we're gonna talk about, is fitness culture toxic? Can it be? What do you think? Is fitness culture toxic?
Yeah. I think anything can be toxic when you don't have any hedges, and I think it's based on your perspective. It can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing, but I think what's happening is we're heading to a place of self-idolizing, and we're making ourselves our own God. And it's not, I'm gonna say part of it is about health, but a lot of it isn't. It's becoming about, people talking about themselves and putting and just showing themselves off 100% of the time or whatever. I don't think people know that they are doing it, but at the same time, it's, in my opinion, becoming more distasteful. Not saying that I haven't even did it when I was out there, promoting what I was promoting. Yeah, I was trying to help people with their mental health, like back in the day.
What were you promoting?
I was promoting me, but also like my knowledge. And
because you a brand.
Yeah, exactly. But like I knew that I was helping people, but at the same time I was like, yeah, this is gonna be a way to bring in women. It was kind of like how Derek Jackson?
No.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't doing what he was doing.
No, I understand. But wow.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a lot of people that's doing this.
I understand.
Because no shame. I mean, I've posted shirtless videos on my,
He does
Instagram.
not anymore, for those inquiring.
Yeah, I don't anymore. But it wasn't because of Mary, it was because of me.
Yes. I don't make this man do anything.
Yeah, trust me. I'm hard to put in a box because
can't put air in a box.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I
called you an airhead, basically. I'm kidding.
Well, actually, I'm the last airbender, so.
I'm so glad you're a fan now. I'll accept all the corny jokes because I'm glad you're a fan now. So
to be. Yes, exactly.
We're gonna talk about that live action one of these days too, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, but it's
but fitness culture.
It's self-idolatry.
So you think that contributes to its toxicity?
Yes, I think that's the reason why it's toxic. I actually don't think the health part is about it. I just think it just got to be balanced. At the end of the day, I know we've been saying that balance, but what actually makes it balanced is your intent behind it, and not it just being about you. Like, hey, we definitely care about you, and we understand people trying to make their money, do your thing, but to me, it's almost cringy to me. Like, I saw a guy, he's a fitness guy, and it's also women too, but like I said, I look at things from a different perspective. Yeah. So you're filming yourself, whether you got your phone, you got two phones, or you got the camera, you filming yourself praying to God and telling people, hey, you need to pray, and which is good, but you got your shirt off and you're an attractive person, or it's
interesting.
It's not about God anymore because you're taking away from
the message, I guess.
Exactly.
Because it's distracting.
Exactly. It's just like if somebody came on here, butt a naked, and they do this podcast, you can be like, oh yeah, I understand we're talking about healthy eating, but those are some nice breast chicken. So
I know, right?
Yeah, so it's
kind of like the example I always give you where I'm like, I say when you tell people don't think about a purple elephant, what are they going to think of?
A purple elephant. Exactly. And you know, I know from being what like some of my homegirls, they used to call me a
You're what?
some of my friend girls, some of my
You're who?
My friend girls. That's exactly what I said. I ain't gonna say it again. They told me that they was like, they said, Alan, you are a thought pocket. I was like, a thought pocket? I was like, what's that? But because they knew what I was doing, and I know what women were attracted to, a guy who can articulate themselves, and also seems like he understands. When, not saying that I was this guy, but some of the cats, like Derek Jackson, he was conniving and he wasn't living the life that, he's telling a lot of other men. And because they know that, hey, women,
He was talking to women, not men.
But I know that, yeah. I know Derek Jackson was.
I know, I was, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Go ahead.
Okay, so what you're saying is influencer culture kind of makes fitness culture toxic.
Yeah. It does.
Yeah, for the most. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it. I want to dive into this video where he kind of addresses a lot of that, where he's discussing the ways in which fitness culture can be toxic.
Dive in like Trey Songz.
That's I'm about to say it's a song.
Okay, go.
I think Trey Songz got some court cases against him right now. But we'll pray for you, Trey Songz.
Something we seem to hear a lot nowadays is the fitness industry is so toxic or negative, something like that. What does that mean? Also, what are some things we can do to continue to thrive in this culture? And what are some things we can do to change it? But first, I asked some of our community members what it means. And apparently it means different things to different people. Some bring up gym etiquette, others bring up toxic social media influencers, and others bring up what might be considered unhealthy ideals. And the comment section of many videos across the internet were also brought up. So with that in mind, let's try to be respectful in this one. Maybe. So there are a lot of slightly different ideas on what makes fitness culture toxic, and I can't cover them all right now. So I want to focus on an underlying similarity, which is why would someone intentionally make another person feel bad or unwelcome? Now I know that doesn't cover everything people think is toxic. It's just what I want to focus on for this video. But first of all, I want to address something that some of you might be thinking. Is fitness culture toxic at all? Is anything toxic? And when I asked this to some community members who have wide-ranging beliefs, how many do you think said no? Fitness culture is not toxic at all. It's fine the way it is. Actually, very few. This surprised me. Even the ones who initially said no eventually changed their minds after we talked about it a little bit, and they said, yeah, that could be better. And some are basically the stereotypical gym bro. Look, I'm sorry. I love you guys, but you love the gym and your bros, so. And they brought up what I consider are some very valid concerns on how we treat each other. And this negativity should go against the ethos of fitness, which is largely about self-improvement. So that's something I wanted to address first. Because there are some people who think the word toxic is overused nowadays. They might feel like it's used to describe anything someone else likes. Maybe. There's some nuance to that. Slightly separate discussion. But my point is that all types of people seem to agree that there's something wrong with fitness culture. That it can be improved. So first I'll talk about why I think that is, and then give some ideas on how we can face these issues as a community. And not only continue to thrive despite a flawed culture, but perhaps improve the situation as a whole. Because we can do that. We can improve our situation. One of the good things, in my opinion, about fitness culture is the belief that we can improve ourselves. And one person's actions, you or me, may not have that much effect by themselves, but they can create a ripple effect. Because the people you positively affect can also positively affect other people. And when we do this with a few 100,000 or a few million people, then maybe we can start to notice some positive change. But let's revisit our question. Why would someone make someone else feel bad on purpose? So two things you can do to participate. First, when I ask that question, who do you picture in your mind? A gym teacher? Content creator you don't like? And secondly, do you think that person has good intentions? Because I think some of them might. My gym teacher probably thought that yelling at me could get me to do more push-ups. It didn't really. And it didn't get me to do fewer push-ups either. It was just noise to me. Sorry, coach. But some people do get motivated through being yelled at. And they try to motivate others in the same way because that's what worked for them. But unfortunately, not everyone responds to the same things. And even more unfortunately, I don't think the majority do that from a place of purely good intentions. It's a hard thing to study and quantify exactly. But my experience is that even when some people claim they're saying something to help others, they might partially be saying it to help themselves. At least partially. Fitness culture has a problem. And part of that problem is a deep well of insecurity. An ocean of it.
It's a lot about what you were saying about how influencer culture makes fitness culture toxic because they play on those insecurities that he just said, you know? He also mentioned about how different people are motivated by different things and how
talked about that too.
Maybe the intention of the person really isn't to be toxic at all, but to one person it could be, and to another person it could be motivation.
Yeah, there's a lot of nuances.
Yeah, exactly. Like for example, I again follow a lot of like girls that go to the gym, right? And for a while, I would see their bodies and see like, oh man, I want my body to look like that, you know? And so for a while, the response I gave was more so coming from an insecurity. Whereas now that I'm working on myself and focusing on myself in that aspect, when I see them now, it's more motivational to me. When I see that, I'm like, okay, if I do this, or if I stick to this plan, then I can reach a level where it's similar. You know, I can reach my own personal body goals because I carve those out for myself instead of looking at what everyone else has. So.
That's amazing. Yeah. And it takes growth and it takes self-discovery and you understanding that, hey, you're not the same, you don't have the same body type as this person.
Yeah,
you don't have the
that's
same
important.
Molecular, composition. And yes, that's you growing as a person. You're seeking that self-improvement, as he was saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
And hopefully this can create that ripple effect, what he was referencing to, for everyone to have their self-improvement. And we all realize that not everything is going to fit you perfectly. And when I say fit you perfectly, I'm talking about what people say and what they do. I don't even expect that, just reading the book by the philosopher Immanuel Kant, it's utility calculus, the greater good for all. And so if it's beneficial for a majority of us, I can find something that I can, take from it and not be like, oh my God, he's skinny shaming me, or, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, he's just saying, hey, you need to get yourself together, like my boy Kevin Samuel say,
Oh my goodness.
So.
But yeah, it's definitely how you choose to perceive it. That's for sure. And you can make steps to like perceive it differently. Either you can just simply choose to see it differently, or you can like kind of do what I did and kind of focus on yourself first and the things that you're missing, because that's what it was. Like the insecurities came from me understanding and knowing that I really wasn't working towards the goals that I really had for myself when I could have been. I could have been the whole time, instead of looking at these other girls who have the bodies that I supposedly dream of. And that energy could have been shifted towards that instead, So watch a little bit more.
A T-Rex dinosaur blew well Mount Everest of insecurity. And not just from the people who want to learn, but from the people who teach the stuff, the people who preach it. Wait, why are you all looking at me? I'm different. I'm the exception. I'm calling it out, so I'm the exception. I'm different. I'm on your side. That's what everyone says. Some might be right. But why do people teaching fitness, spreading this stuff, some of whom are very muscular, athletic, and let's face it, very good looking. Some of you are very handsome specimens. Why do these people we're learning from have so much insecurity? What are they insecure about? Well, part of it is how we're motivated and what we allow to motivate us. See, a lot of fit people weren't always that way. At least not to the degree they are now. And people who are dedicated enough in the craft somehow make their way onto your radar, so you even know they exist, are often very motivated individuals. So what's motivating them? different things. But sometimes, as many of you know, we're motivated by shame. Shame, and even deeper than that, fear is a very powerful motivator. It's hard to deny that. You take someone who's self-described as unmotivated, and you have a bear chase them around, and suddenly they're running as fast as they can, getting their cardio in. Secret to exercise. You just need bears. Who would have thought? In a similar but less extreme way, this is how some people shame themselves in the progress. I'm so fat, ugly, or otherwise undesirable that I'm going to work hard until I no longer disgust myself. And that line, sorry, I know it was disturbing to some of you, drove some people to make great gains. They weren't as fit as they wanted to be, and now they are. Cool. But is that motivation sustainable? And even if it is, does it have any side effects? Now this is an interesting discussion that I think is best had as an actual back and forth discussion. Because I think some people would say no. Some people might have already paused the video and they're writing a comment about how shame actually worked for them. And they didn't have any side effects. And I'll admit, in a video like this, where we can't quite have that back and forth, I might not be able to give all the nuance and details. But I will add that people might define shame in different ways. For example, if you're 5 years old and you're in public school and you fart in class, everybody laughs at you because that's what a lot of kids do. You're embarrassed, and that's not great. But you also learn not to do this as an adult in a board meeting. So that's you learning based on a negative reaction you're getting. Some might say that's fine. Others might not. And even if it's not, I don't think that type of thing is entirely avoidable in our lives. And I do think it's okay for some people to show a little tough love on themselves if that's what they need to get themselves going. But to me, shame is a more extreme version of that. It's where you go beyond the point of learning and being helpful, and you start to feel some serious negative consequences. For example, if that kid that everyone laughed at got beat up later on, and then humiliated, and then refused to go to school, that would be bad. I can't convince everyone. But I'm quite wary of being okay with letting ourselves be controlled by our fears and insecurities. Because yes, it can motivate you towards good things like physical health. But if we don't learn to reconcile our insecurities and keep them at bay, then they might control us in ways we don't expect. If you thought you were ugly or unworthy as a human before you got fit because you were overweight, let's say, does that nag at you a little bit if you put on some extra weight and someone points it out? How do you react? What if you get sick and you have to stay home for a few weeks? Do you feel like you're less of a person because of that? What are you going to do when you get older and your appearance and your physical ability isn't quite what it used to be? And more to the point of this video,
I feel a little convicted, like a little bit. I do, because I've thought about these things, like me getting older. You know, I talked about earlier how I've been having random pains. I've been doing a lot more mobility exercises when I go to the gym. And I've thought about the 2 weeks that I did not go to the gym because I had the flu. And I thought about how it affected the way I allowed my insecurities to control myself during those periods of times where I was thinking of myself in that way. And so I feel a little convicted because I'm thinking to myself, am I allowing my insecurities to control me? Because he asked a good question, is shame a sustainable motivator? It's a motivator, but is it sustainable? Because I remember being in school and being shamed for being skinny.
Yeah.
Like I was really skinny. I was just skinny. So people, especially kids, because kids are mean, would always comment on how skinny I was, how I didn't have a butt, I had no boobs and stuff like that. You know, I'm really little, I need to eat, I need meat on my bones.
So you like a handsome boy?
Yeah, I look like a 12-year-old boy, like, you know, things like that. So I can laugh at it now. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, maybe I'm not allowing those things to control me, but it's like, am I to a degree, and is that sustainable? Like, these are good questions.
Yeah, and
does that make the culture toxic sometimes, to a degree?
Yeah. I think it's just like you said, there's a lot of nuances to it, but I don't think that in itself makes it toxic. I think just how you actually receive information and what it's rooted in. You know, I see if you watch something long enough, you're going to see the fruits of it.
Yeah.
The fruits is going to come out. Like, you know, I've watched stuff to where I even watched pastors talk about things, and I'm like, man, he's a great pastor. Kept on listening to him. I'm like, man, this man full of stuff, you know. So it's crazy is because the thing is we're so quick to try to let our voice be heard, and so we're quick to try to respond to something instead of letting things simmer like neck bone juice, you know. Understanding that, like, hey, you know, sometimes let stuff simmer, like, you know, like press wine, and you know, understand. Okay, let me spread my taste palette of, okay, this has notes of this, but I may not agree with this, but okay, I get the whole gist of it. And so that is where I think that people should be focused on, not just, oh, they said something that I don't agree with, because I kind of spoke about that earlier with the guy, that anytime I say something about something that triggers him to be a better version of himself, he think is attack, but it's not. It's the same thing what he's saying, because he's motivated by shame, and that shame is basically metastasized into a response to for you to respond and defend yourself and stuff like that, because
That's true. You can definitely respond to shame in different ways. Sometimes you get defensive, or sometimes you get insecure. And I've done all of it. I think I've responded to shame.
Everybody has, to be honest, everybody has.
Exactly. I think I've definitely responded to shame in different ways.
We're human, all at the conscious outlet. We just, you know, kick back, and we just, you know, letting stuff flow. We letting it flow. Just letting it flow.
Yeah, we stopped the flow because I forgot what I was going to say.
Yeah,
so
that's fine.
We'll watch a little bit more.
The show will go on.
Okay.
Lead you to treat others. Because sometimes you lash out. Right? We're not at our best or our friendliest when we're insecure and anxious. Or hungry, I guess. But that's a separate discussion. A lot of separate discussions in this one. But even the way you act towards people you love might be affected. The most obvious example might be a negative form of love, where you figured that because you were shamed in progress, others can be too. That's the good intentions part. The other part is everything else. When we feel jealous and speak negatively towards someone, just because we perceive the progress as a threat, that's not a healthy thought, friend. When we hear and see negative comments, not criticism, which is different, but just hate for no reason, those people are usually not doing great. Of all the wonderful ways in the human experience that we could be spending our free times, which is often scarce. Leaving troll comments online is a strange one. But I think a lot of them, unfortunately, are from people who are doing poorly. In my experience, people who are truly happy and doing well usually aren't trying to tear down others for no reason. Misery loves company. People rot with their own troubles and insecurity, often want to bring down others too. Yes, they are making others suffer, but they themselves are sometimes suffering. And no, it doesn't always excuse.
Yeah, I know. With myself, with trolls, I know that there's something that that Mirakle kind of affects her, but it doesn't affect me. She's like, hey, this troll is writing this about the conscious outlet. I'd be like, let them write it. Don't even delete it. Let them write it.
I'm not really like that with trolls. I'm like that with people that I know.
I don't think you knew this person.
What? It was a random comment on a YouTube video?
He was like, yeah, I just think they're trolling all of a sudden.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, and I didn't care because I knew that, hey.
Well, they were on my TikTok, so I'm gonna delete it if I want to.
They were, to me, if the intent behind it and visibly is not like anything that we say is just like verbally abusing someone or being just outlandish. I'm like, no, you convicted because you convicted. It don't got nothing to do with me, you, or anybody else.
And that's what he was saying. Like, usually when people do things like that, it's because they're not living the life that they want. And that's what I was basically trying to say about myself when it comes to fitness, and when it came to the motivation I got from seeing the women with the bodies that I wanted. Like, I was using that as motivation to keep going in my own journey. So, yeah. because I wasn't happy with where I was, you know?
I do. Yeah. I understand.
Yeah. Let's bring out our conscious way quote.
Instead of comparing yourself to others in the fitness culture, embrace the unique body that you have been given and focus on becoming the healthiest version of yourself rather than striving for a idolized image. I don't think we have to even comment on that.
I've definitely had to learn to take my own quotes advice.
Oh yeah.
Accepting my body for what it is has definitely been a long journey.
Yeah.
But it really does feel good and freeing once you're there. So
Yeah.
Let's bring up the scripture as well.
Psalms 139:14. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well.
And it's amazing when you can fully accept that.
When you fearfully and wonderfully made.
Yeah. And I know that full well. That means I believe that. It's more than a belief. I know it.
Come on, sister. Give them a word. Give them a word on this Sunday.
Yes. Any last minute thoughts?
Last minute thoughts would be
on
community.
Fitness culture.
Get you a community of someone who's going to challenge you in more ways than one, not just from a physical standpoint. I am a person, I would scream to the tops of the hills and mountains for you to be in diversity. You know, I know now diversity is being axed at, you know, a lot of places and a lot of colleges and stuff like that. But diversity is important with community so that you can be around someone who just has a good friendship that you all can feed off each other and grow from. And we can also be that outlet too. We can be that conscious outlet.
That was cute.
Yeah. I hope y'all caught that. The name.
That was good. Yeah. Well, those are our thoughts. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Make sure you like and subscribe. Share the video. It's very, very important for us to reach our goal. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers.
That's right.
And we will do it.
Yeah.
And it will be sooner than later.
Yeah. Make sure you read our Substack too, The Art of Practical Religion. We've a lot of good nuggets in there, and it won't be free forever. So
exactly, and we are spending our time and effort of putting out this information, and so it's a lot more than us just being on the podcast and talking about. There's a lot of things that goes on from the design standpoint, from the communication standpoint, and us just actually being here, and me having to drive 2.5 hours or 2 hours to even just be here.
Yep.
To deliver some good energy and some good quality. So just know that I am y'all favorite uncle, so
all right,
or your favorite cousin.
Okay.
Yeah, I can be all of it.
We appreciate you guys. I'm Mirakle Monique.
And I'm Alan J.
This was the Conscious Outlet Podcast.
And we out.